just be listening sometimes and thinking,
just
do
going
y'all
around
even believe
like
this
they
shit
said.
you say
That's like
out your mouth?
you gotta have good credit, or that's a deal breaker. Whoopty whoopty whoop.
It
Like
take 90 days to fix credit.
credit can be fixed, sis.
In 90
That's a,
days,
like,
it can be fixed.
literally.
You're trying to tell
sound
me
dumb.
you're going to leave a man if he got bad credit?
Because I want to be the guy in the street to be like, so you know credit can be fixed, right?
Right. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us again. If you're new here, I'm Intisar, but you can call me Zar. This is my beautiful husband, Joseph. You can call him Mr. Joseph Connor and only Mr. Joseph Connor. And we are back. Did y'all miss us? We're back and we're talking all things Married at First Sight. Season 15. This is the first episode. And this was, I want to be clear. I want y'all to know that we started watching this episode at 8 o'clock at night. And it is now 11:18. And we decided we were going to jump right in and, film right after we saw the show because we thought that was a good idea. And thank God I have off tomorrow.
Yeah, it just was like a 3-hour episode.
It was like,
and it didn't need to be. It could have been an hour and a half episode.
The part of it is that I binge watch stuff all the time. Like, you know what I mean? So it's not that I don't mind consuming content like that. It's that it wasn't enough content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
It was like a lot of fluff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
just a lot of ad selling.
A lot of ad selling. So before we get into that, I wanted to tell you guys that Joe's band just dropped their new single. Forgot the name of it.
Full disclosure.
I'm trying to plug y'all and I forgot. Listen, full disclosure, an awesome song, by the way. And Joe is playing drums on the entire album, so you guys really need to check it out. It's a dope ass song. It's by Otherwise. You can stream it on all streaming platforms. Okay, go make sure you stream it. We trying to get a Grammy. So, did y'all feel like this episode was just I feel like it was the matchmaking episode. Like they should have just went right into these people picking their dresses, picking their suits, and getting married.
Yeah, I think the first hour of the episode to me was just like a rerun of like what we saw in the
matchmaking special or whatever the case may be. And to me, it was like, why are we doing this again?
For ad sales,
bro. Lifetime had to make $17 billion tonight.
They
had to make 17 bills, bro.
They was running these ads like they was going out of business.
I could not understand that. But you know what though? They had to make $17 billion. They continue to put out movies.
They sure do. Somebody got to pay for them.
Somebody is paying for these movies, my man.
I don't know who's watching them.
Listen, we about to watch one. What are you talking about? We is about to watch one. So I need to see these people's faces. Okay. This episode opens up with Lindy.
Yeah, Lindy and Miguel.
Okay. So Lindy is a physical therapist. Oh, Lindy. The one who was a Seventh-day Adventist.
Yeah.
Fascinating young woman.
Yeah.
She's 27. I think she's young.
She's just weird, man. And she's not really, you could tell that like the other cast members don't really vibe with her like that. You know what I mean?
I think she doesn't know how to be. I think there's something to being around people having what is, quote unquote, like a normal childhood that provides you with certain social skills. You know what I mean? It's very clear that socially she's not all the way there.
Yeah.
So during this episode, me and Joe have been having this conversation. I want to pause really quick. We've been having this conversation about if we were to be matching these people and like whether or not we would pick certain people to have had, not knowing who else they had to pick from, but like just from this group.
Just playing the numbers, just playing the odds. Like I just don't think I don't think we would have picked anybody that's on this episode. Cause like my logic is like they have thousands of applicants. Like we can go on Google and like see the lines that they've had and all this thing. So think about like an American Idol audition, like back when
You think
people.
they got that many?
Yeah, I do. I do. Especially at this. I mean, 15 years
Yeah,
in. Like I
true,
think it's a huge show.
true.
It's obviously Lifetime's biggest show. It's their cash cow. It's their money
It's for
maker.
sure they cash cow. They
And
made
they
$18 billion tonight.
right. So I think they get a lot of applicants, and I think that no disrespect to the people that are on the show, but I just feel like there's people that are more qualified to me to be on the show. You know what I mean? And I feel like part of me feels like it's just a big thing of production. Like now y'all producing TV. You know what I mean? But that's where we
Producing
at.
reality TV.
Yeah, yeah,
I
or just TV in general. Like y'all are producing a show. You know what I mean?
and that's it.
Even down to the B roll. Like if y'all notice, like when they do these B rolls, and for people who don't know, like B roll is just like almost like uh transition footage,
Yeah.
background footage, right? Every time they do this B roll introducing the individuals, they all doing the same thing. Everybody's in the gym. Everybody jogging through a
Everybody works
park.
out, y'all.
Every
That's not real life.
Come on,
Everybody do
y'all.
not work out. My husband go
Everybody
to the
doing
gym
the
every
same
day. I do
things in the
not.
gym too. Everybody running through
Everybody doing the rope
everybody run through their
things.
local park. Like, come on, these
But
people are
y'all don't
park.
got no AirPods. Nobody had on like headphones. Y'all
No,
just
because it's literally somebody saying, "Okay, we're gonna tell you when we say go, you run from that end of the park to the next end of the park, and then we're gonna get you in the gym, throwing up some ropes and all this." Like, it's just like, y'all producing a little bit too much, and I feel like that the whole aspect of like overproducing is boiling over into picking the actual people.
I agree. Well, Lindy and Miguel, Lindy is a physical therapist. Now, when she sat down and told her friends that she was getting married, I did love how supportive her friends were. Like I like to see
I
people.
didn't really like it, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Joe was kind of mad this
No,
episode.
I just was over it, but I'm gonna tell you why, because I noticed I watch these interactions very closely, and it's talking about red flags. It's a red flag to me when somebody sit down and they talk to their friends and they tell their friends the situation, and everything they have to say is about the other person. Oh
What you
well,
mean?
well they better be this. I hope they do this because you can be this way, so I hope they do this. And like, what do your friend need to do? Right. And I've only seen and I
Mm.
paid attention to the friends who actually
Oh,
said
I
you
see
should
what
be
you're
patient,
saying.
bro, because you can work with what
Yeah,
I'm
I see
saying.
what you're
And it's just
saying.
a red flag to me. Like when because to me it is it goes back to Jasmina, right, from last season, and it being very evident that nobody in her life ever held her accountable for anything. You know what I mean? So when you
Mm.
sit down and you say, "Well, when I talk to the close friends that I do, the few people who I do talk to about my relationship, it's not just a like a Joe releasing session. You know what I mean? They tell me like, "Well, you could be this way, so whoop de whoop."
How many
Or
people do you talk to about your
two.
relationship?
And this is
Really?
that's the reason, because you got some people who like everybody know the cheerleaders in their life, like you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, and that's just at some point you got to grow up and actually get coaching and actually get, you know what I'm saying, like it's a saying in sports where this guy wants to be coached. That doesn't mean he just wants to have a coach on his team. Everybody has a coach. It means
He
they
understands
actually
there's room for growth.
absolutely they're open to criticism. They want the criticism because they know that still sharpen steel, and
Right.
I don't get better if you just always pat me on my back,
Right.
right? And so all I got from their conversation is, well, the guy need to do this and he need to do that. Nobody ever said like, well, Lindsay, like
But
you
I
a
think
little
they're
short
young
tempered.
too.
But that's why it's just a red flag to me. Like I don't remember who it was, because bear with us, because we obviously
We just learning
it's
these people,
episode one.
y'all.
I don't remember who it was, but one of the guys sat down with their male friends, and the friends was telling them all the things that you need to do. You know this. You know you just can't run when you get upset. You know, you got to
Oh,
be
that
da
was
da
his
da da da.
brother. That was ooh, I don't even remember
I
his
don't remember,
name.
but that's my point. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I didn't really like.
Mitch. It was Mitch and his brother because his brother was like, "You gotta be patient." Like,
That's the conversation.
yeah,
Just somebody
I
get
agree.
married. Like, y'all not just going to prom. Like, it shouldn't be a
But
whole bunch of conversation about,
she's
well, he should be,
giving.
he better be nice,
Let's
he
be
better have
honest,
money, he better do this.
and I mean this with all due respect, and y'all ain't gonna like this, and don't slide in my DMs trying to air me the fuck out. But Lindy and Miguel are giving love on the spectrum, and I don't give a damn what nobody said.
No, for real.
The both of them, okay,
No,
both of them together, they are giving love on the spectrum,
a little
which
bit,
to
yeah.
me is one of my favorite shows. Okay,
Same.
it's one of my favorite shows. But I'm like just saying, y'all, like it's giving a little. So something about her to me is not fully developed, and that's just being honest. And this is first impressions too, right? Like
Yeah.
or second impressions. You know what I mean? Affirming our first impressions. And Miguel, I actually like Miguel, and Joe is not. And I'm gonna be honest, Joe doesn't believe that Miguel would be picked if he had done the choosing, but I can see why Miguel was picked. Like I see he
Yeah, my
looks like a patient individual. Yeah, he a little quirky. He showed up looking like Winnie the Pooh or whatever the case to his little gaming session, which was weird because then it looked like everybody else. Like if you looked at the people in the background, not the people he was sitting at the table with, they was the only mother jumpers dressed up.
well, nobody. Well, they rented out the place. There wasn't nobody else in the joint. Remember, they had all the CDs blurred out. It was just them in this little video
Oh, it was
shot.
only that. I thought
Yeah.
it was people. It was some guy in
Nah, they be
the
renting
background.
these Jones out. That's why I see. I don't like how they do that. That's overproduced too. Like
Well,
once
I
you,
think they do that because you kind of got to keep it a secret that these people are being married at first sight, or people will expose it.
well, you don't gotta tell. They film stuff all the time, and you don't know what they're filming.
That's a fact.
We see it. We see it all, especially when we used to live in LA. Like
That's a
I would
fact.
be doing research. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I if it was in LA, it was always insecure of Joe asked me. What are they filming?
I
Insecure.
know. I know. I know.
But no, I actually really like Miguel. He seems like he has a really nice temperament. And what does Miguel do again? He's a medical writer, and he
Whatever
also
that
writes
means.
poetry.
Oh
Which
Lord.
y'all suffer from secondhand embarrassment like I do?
The poetry thing was not it for me.
Y'all, I suffer from severe secondhand embarrassment. Like I cannot. The moment he started speaking that poetry stuff, I just was like,
It was too much. I
enough.
wanted him to stop
And
it.
she's not gonna like it. And I really don't want him to say it to her. I don't want, and I mean that with all due respect. I don't
But
want
even
him
the
to
other even the
share it
dudes that
to her.
was watching was just like, bro, you don't got to do this right now.
It's really I like Miguel, but his story is kind of sad. So he has this like what he says is a reoccurring theme of women leaving his life, and it begun with his mother. And so I kind of have like I'm rooting for him. It's just that unfortunately I feel like they are the couple. You know how like you feel like one couple out of every season is like you don't really expect these mother jumpers to stay together. Y'all just put them together for TV.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think y'all wanted to give a little love on the spectrum, and that's what y'all
I
gonna
don't
get.
see them at all. Like I see
I don't
them.
see it.
I
They don't
see
even look good with their pictures
yeah, I
side by
see them
side.
doing the side by side thing, and I just don't see it.
So let's move into Alexis and Justin. Alexis' energy is really good.
She cool.
You don't like her energy? I loved her energy. I loved her energy. I think, I just like, when black people are free and open and got good person.
I
She
think
just seems open and sweet.
I think that again, talking about people we would have picked, I think you wouldn't have picked Alexis because her like, sitting down and bringing her closest friends together and they all dudes, that would have been a red flag for you.
Yeah, we calling out red flags today. I do think that's a red flag. I do think that's a red flag. I don't. Your friends are your friends. Like, don't get me wrong. I do think that's a red flag. I do. I can't lie. I don't know. Um, it's giving dick in a box.
Wait, what's the wait? What you mean?
Like
All I hear, all when you say that, all I
anytime
think is the Justin Bieber skit on SNL.
I have this theory, y'all, about and everybody always want to fight me. Don't they want to fight me when I tell them my theory on
What?
male female relationships?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody want to fight me, and then I ask them one question: Has this person ever, like, you know what I mean? Have they ever hit on you? Whatever. They be like, oh yeah, but it was nothing. We just moved on from there. So then
Yeah.
it didn't stem from a space that wasn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And the reality is that even people who are friends, people like to be around good looking people, right? You know what I mean? You might not, I'm not saying you attracted to, well, what I'm saying is babies like pretty people. Okay. So for me, I have good looking girlfriends because it's a part of the aesthetic. You know what I mean? Like, I like beautiful people. I want to be around beautiful people. So we are what you know what I mean? Sometimes we're visual like that. And I think that it's really not, I do believe that there's a place where you can have a platonic relationship with the opposite sex. But I also believe that because we are built to have companionship in a certain way and relationship in a certain way, sometimes one person is thinking one thing and the other person is thinking platonic.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Like, I'm I just think that that's where it's going, and I feel like when you have that many men around you, it's like, for what? I know men. I don't know many. I don't know many men that I like, that I want to like, and that's a personal thing. Like, I don't. I have male friends for all intents and purposes, but I don't.
I just think, like I
I don't
said,
need to hang out with
I just
them.
think, I just think
That
that,
feels so bad.
I just think that, I'm not. We should have learned our lesson from seasons past, and I'm not giving nobody kudos before they deserve it. I'm not piping nobody up. You know what I'm saying?
That's too
I like
much.
that Alexis is a brown girl and all that,
Love it.
but
She's stunning.
I think that I'm paying attention to these red flags out here. You know what I mean?
I think that's a red flag,
That's
but I'm
it.
not gonna hold it against her. I just like girls too. Like, I think that everybody's not built that way, obviously, but
Yeah.
I just like women. I don't know. Um, let's talk about Justin for a bit. First of all, let's take a step back. She said that she was proposed to 3 times. Do you think that's?
Also a red flag.
I don't think that's a red
But
flag.
it's absolutely a red flag. And the irony is her sitting him down and talking to him about commitment, whether or not he is has commitment issues or something. And then she like, well, yeah, I got proposed to three times.
Yeah, you obviously have the commitment issue.
You obviously are the one. Your own people say, "Oh, you got cold feet yet?" Because we know how they say something to the effect of like, that's what you do. You know what I mean? So I was that's so we just got to pay attention to these red flags. Like we all got lulled in, by the pretty faces in years past. We can't do it again, y'all. We got to just be sharp. You know what I mean?
Oh
Don't
my
let it be no
god.
mirrorless. You know what I mean? Like we're not gonna be guilty again. You know what I
But you
mean?
know what? We're not gonna be guilty again. How about that? How about that? But
Yeah.
no, I think that I don't think that it's she was a young woman. So to me, she still is a young woman. So I don't think that
She's 30.
she 20, what, 29?
Yeah.
She's still a young woman. So you got to think, if she had 4 or 3 proposals, that's not a big deal.
That's different.
The question is when. When was the last proposal? That's what I would be curious to know. Now, Justin was raised, he says, by his brother. And, at least for his teenage years of his life, and for all intents and purposes, he has made him the man that he is today, or helped to, build that up in him. And I think that's really dope. Like, I think that, that kind of bond, that brotherly, fatherly bond, I feel like is so important. But his brother is a bit overbearing.
But his brother is 1,000% overbearing, and was wrong. Like the way he handled the situation at the bachelor party was 1,000%
The
wrong.
way he handled it when he told him, I felt was wrong.
Even that was wrong. But then after you say your piece at the table in a whole nother day, once we are at the bachelor party, and then you bringing it up again, like I'm obviously already doing this.
Right.
So at this point, you just want to
It's
argue.
cameras in your face.
Yeah, yeah. Like we're here. I'm signed on for this. At this point, you just want to argue, and then to go as far as to say he being a little bitch or whatever he said, like that was out of bounds and also wrong. Because actually, you're the one who's being a bitch. Because as a man, you should just be like, all right, I don't really agree with it, but you're my brother, you're my man. We just gonna rock out. Like say your piece and move on.
But
Like
it
that's
ain't
what
for
dudes
me
do.
to.
Like you ain't gonna sit here and
Right.
just bitch and moan the whole time. We gonna argue about it every day.
Because
That's
it's
weird.
not, if we're going to argue about it every
Yeah,
day.
like literally, like bro, like And then, like you said, like I've been taking care of myself since I was a kid. Like, you know what I mean? So for you to just be at this point, it's disrespectful.
And at this, what I think, I guess it bothers me is that people are allowed to make their own mistakes. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody gets their knocks however they get them, and I feel like you should have room to do that.
Yeah.
And if he's been on his own and raising himself since 19, then the baby has the opportunity to make a bad decision if that's what this is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if this is the bad decision, this ain't too bad of a terrible decision to make.
But you said it as if, well, now that I told you my opinion, you need to change your actions like he's a kid.
But
That was the fighting vibe to me. Like I already told you, I don't think you're ready for this. So what he's supposed to be like? Oh, you right, bro. I'm gonna go withdraw my name.
yeah, like, you're not ready for this. But you know what though?
Like
This is
what?
this is really why Blockbuster is not around. Because y'all don't be having the innovation and the forethought to see things. Y'all just be seeing what's in front of y'all and saying this is the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's like sometimes it takes for somebody to do something unconventional to have success. You know what I mean? And maybe they will have success. Now she ain't seemed too attracted to him.
I mean, saying he's not horrible is
She
not.
said he's not awful.
She literally said he's not awful. Well, that doesn't give me that too much confidence at
But
all.
then, you know what is really cringy to me? And we're going to get back to who he is and everything. But one thing that's really cringy to me is when people talk about other people's height.
What you mean?
Like, oh, you're so tall. I don't know why that is cringy to me. Like, it's like weird as fuck. Like, are y'all not used to dating tall men? You know what I mean? Or like, because it would, to me, is the equivalent. Like, if I'm a tall woman, and I'm thinking about it being a woman, if I'm a tall woman and all people say to me is, "Oh my god, you're so tall,"
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
get like, I would be like, "Oh my god, y'all are annoying." You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
how about for one, all she talked about is how she wanted him to be tall, and then she gets him and say, "Oh, well, he too tall. They
cause
went too
y'all really
far."
don't know what the fuck y'all want,
This
bro.
is why y'all on this show.
Y'all
Right now.
really be dizzy. Y'all
Like
really do not be knowing what y'all
is
want.
now the problem is he's too tall.
But you know what though? This is a theme. Me and Joe have also been talking about how people just really, if you ever listen to single people why they single,
Bro,
they
you
will
would
come
think
up
about
with
some wild stuff. Like you want to hear there should be that should be a show. You know how they say
I can't.
kids say the darndest things, and that's a show.
Single people say the
That
darndest
should be
thing.
its own show.
I just be listening sometimes and thinking,
Just
do
going
y'all
around
even believe
like
this
they
shit
should,
you say
just like
out
the
your mouth?
just like the guy that you watch, who he goes around and he just be putting a mic in Trump supporters' faces, like, "What do you think about
Oh, I love
economic
him.
policy?" And they say some dumb shit that goes directly against who they are as a person. Like they should do that for like just single people in the street, you know? Like the
Literally.
one girl said, was it? I think it was I think it was Stasha from like the matchmaking episode. Well, he got to have good credit, or that's a deal breaker. Whoopie whoopie whoop.
It
Like
take 90 days to fix credit.
credit can be fixed, sis.
In 90
That's a
days, it
like
can be fixed.
literally.
Like in 90 days.
Like
You're trying to
you
tell
sound
me
dumb.
you're going to leave a man if he got bad credit?
Like
It only take 90 days to
this
fix
is
it.
why you gonna die single, sis. Like your mindset is retarded.
But you know what? I just think that a lot of times, I think when you have years of not being with in a and this is not like I'm not saying it's like single people, not to rain down on single people, because I think there's so many beautiful aspects of being yourself and being able to lock in with
No, we
yourself.
just
And
highlighting the dumb ones,
I'm
the
just highlighting the
idiotic
stupid
ones.
shit, like you know
Like
what I
that's
mean.
silly, but she said it with so much confidence.
But
Like,
she said
you
a lot
can't
of
have
stuff with
bad
confidence
credit.
that don't.
Like
Y'all be really getting.
what?
Y'all are really Republicans, high key. Y'all get these talking points and y'all stick to them,
Yeah,
okay?
that's
Like
really
y'all
what
ain't
it
got
is.
nothing
Yeah,
else. Y'all are high key Republicans, bro. Like, and
because I want to be the guy in the street to be like, so you know, credit can be fixed, right?
right,
And just
right,
wait for her to say something.
right.
Like,
So now
yeah,
what?
yeah, I do.
But guess what? Guess what? The way credit can be good, it could be bad.
Right.
It could literally like that go down.
Yeah.
You can literally pay something off and your credit go down.
It literally happened to me.
And it's about to happen to me because I'm about to pay off another joint. And I'm like, damn, this shit about to really fuck me up.
Yeah.
But it's like that's
also
my
there
thing.
can be so many reasons why somebody his credit is bad. Like, you know what I mean? At one point I had bad credit because I didn't even know that somebody was putting their stuff on my credit. So I had a bunch of stuff that wasn't even mine. You know what I mean? It's just like that's so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but that's just one
Mm-hmm.
thing stupid thing that people really say in their mind, like they got to be this, they got to be that. Like clothes can be fixed, credit can be fixed.
Clothes can be
Like
fixed, credit
I don't
can
like
be
how they
fixed. That's a
dress.
fact.
Like
That is
what?
a fact. So let's get on back to Justin. Justin was previously engaged, and he said that they broke off the engagement because she was looking for somebody with a little bit more coin.
She wanted a sugar daddy, is what he said.
That's exactly what he said. She wanted a sugar daddy, and he wasn't there yet. And I get that. I
Yeah,
get.
he definitely
I
has.
get that.
He has like
Do you think
trauma.
it's a red flag?
He has trauma. No, no, no. He got screwed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not on him.
You don't think that's on? I don't think that's on him either. I think that
No.
you grow with people, and I think sometimes people, like I said, don't have the foresight or
Yeah.
understand that. Like I don't know, y'all city girls, so really big and I am
Yeah.
too, hockey. But I do think that there's something too. Like you can't think this baby at 20 some odd years old gonna have the coin that you know what I mean,
People
like.
really think like this is why we need to create this show so we could just walk around and just put the mic
Yeah,
in
because
people's
y'all
faces.
really be unrealistic, high key.
I
So he
mean,
is currently celibate and hasn't been intimate, he said, in a year and a half. And I'm just I don't think that's a red flag either. I think that that's good. But he's celibate because all women do is look at him and
oh
as a
y'all,
piece of meat.
he got to stop with the whole like I'm Shamar Moore type vibe. Like, bro, please come. Like, what do you mean? Like, but he
And I
kept
want to be.
saying it, and then he contradicted himself right before the wedding day by saying, "Well, I'm just worried about her liking me." You spent and the entire you spent all your filming hours talking about how you was so used to being Dwayne the Rock Johnson and how people just throw themselves at you nonstop, and then you had to sit down with somebody and say, "Well, I'm just worried about her liking me."
All they worried about is if I'm packing or not.
Bro,
Yo, who are these women, yo?
I don't know.
I really want to know because I genuinely
Maybe they in
I do
Alabama.
not believe that. I don't believe that.
No, I don't believe that for two
I
seconds.
just don't believe
But you
that.
know what? It goes back to what I said about narratives and how the producers will drive a narrative for a certain person. Just like before the couples moved in together last year, it was Elijah Wan Playboy this, Elijah Wan Playboy that. Like that was the narrative, and you couldn't get people to not believe that every time they was around, they was just talking about somebody being, you know what I mean, like him being a Playboy or whatever, right? And I think that this could be a thing with Justin where it was just like talk about how you're a piece of meat, like you know what I mean? Because it was
You
just like
think?
yeah, it was just like, oh, this is gonna be his narrative, like for the rest of the season, or at least for this
It's
preseason
just
thing.
weird. And you know what else is weird though, too, y'all? I know y'all like what y'all like, and everybody, all these men ain't tall, y'all.
Yeah,
Like, you know
like
what I mean? Like, somebody's gonna have to date a short man.
somebody. Otherwise, you're
It's not a lot of them. Like, so I'm just so fascinated by the things people and she got what she wanted. It's so fascinating. She
did
got
she? Because she said he was too
child.
tall. He was too tall,
She said it's
and
like
he wasn't awful.
uncomfortable.
Too tall and not awful.
I just God bless. Yeah, bless. But when she was first of all, the dress that she chose, didn't I say, oh, that's the dress? She was trying on dresses with the high neck. She built nice. You
Yeah,
know
that
what I
dress.
mean?
Yeah,
She
her
built
dress
she
was not.
built
She definitely had
good.
the
She
best
was
dress.
looking good. That's how you're supposed to look. You're supposed to give them something to think about. So I'm glad she did that. Like I really, really am. I just really their vows were cute. I thought that them getting married was cute.
It just was a
It just
lot.
was
It was a
meh.
lot happening at the altar. He kept calling her girl, and that was weird to me.
Why? Yo, we should have did a game
I
about him going,
know.
girl, here,
We
girl.
might for next. Yeah, that's literally
That's what
it.
he did.
It was like 10 times.
It was, but then she was like, you wanted to stop high five me. I think that's corny.
Yeah, but
I,
she really was trying to. I think she really wanted to say, "Stop calling me girl," because every time he said it, he high fived her. So I think so. She was
oh,
trying like a backdoor way to like not awkwardly like put him out there. But you know my theory about a lot of these dudes on this season. So
don't say that. Don't say it out
I
loud
didn't say
either.
anything.
Love is on the spectrum. But
No, I don't even know what that means. So we
but
gonna.
I do think that like she the way she said that really took me out. She said, I don't like the high five.
Yeah, that's
I
not.
got a girlfriend like that though. Romaine does not like the high five. And she
The
will
high fives
literally
is not
leave you
weird. It was
hanging.
the
I'm
girl
like,
thing.
girl, she be like, You know I'm not
It
about to
was
high
a
five
girl
you.
thing. It was just. It wasn't even. I don't believe it had anything to do with
And
high
he
five.
real. It was the girl. It was the girl thing. It was the dancing thing or whatever. I don't know. He's
She was
just.
picking up what I was putting down from my couch
I can't,
because she
Jeff.
understood like something is a little different here.
Something's amiss.
Yeah,
I don't know. But she said that she had like a lot of commitment issues and everything like that based on how her parents had been together until she was 18, decided to get a divorce. She said,
and not
thank
wanting
God.
something. The one thing she said that I'm glad she admitted is talking about silly things that a lot of single people say or believe or don't even acknowledge. She said, "I part of my commitment issue was if it wasn't perfect, I didn't want it."
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a lot of people, a lot of single people. I know a lot of single people. We know a lot
A
of
lot
single
of
people.
divorced people.
And if it's not perfect, I don't want it. And I think that's the one that was a big thing for her to admit because I think that's the thing that's holding a lot of people back from greatness. Thinking that everything that you enter into is going to be perfect, and if it's not, then it's nothing there for me.
And perfection is such a fascinating
It doesn't
thing
exist
because I would say that our relationship is perfect, but I mean that from a space of
for you, for
right.
me. You know
And
what I
even
mean?
with the bad, like, you
Right.
know what I mean? Even with the annoyance, even with the whatever, this is my perfect
Yeah.
situation. You know what I mean? And
But perfection doesn't exist, and people really be out here chasing it. They
and I
be
get
chasing
they be
like
chasing like
he
the
got to be
perfect
this,
person.
he got to be
He
that, he got to
right,
be that. Oh, we had
right.
an argument. I'm done. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Like we seen that on another show. I think it was the Love Is Blind situation, and it was like they were like so into each other, so in love. They had
Oh
one
yeah.
argument, and then you could tell that they regretted it because it's like there is no perfect couple where nobody argues
Or say mean
or say
things.
mean things. So
It
you looking for
happens.
this the relationship where nobody argues, nobody has a nasty moment, nobody says mean things. He's rich, he's 6'5", he's this, he that, or she's this and she that. And it's like these relationships don't exist. You got to get out of
Yeah,
this.
they
Like
do not
it does
exist.
not exist,
They do not
y'all.
exist.
Like
And also, he either gonna be tall or fine. He ain't gonna be both. So now pick one.
how about that?
Pick one. You know what I mean? But I did appreciate her saying that. Like I thought that was really dope that she acknowledged that, and I think that that's where these conversations begin. Like when you start to look at those things. I remember when my parents got a divorce, I was happy too. Selima was devastated, child. I said, "Woo!" I said,
Why?
"Thank
But why
God,"
were you happy?
because my mom was so upset all the time and
Mm.
disappointed all the time,
Well, I'm still
and
kind of upset. I'm not, I
don't do Angel like that.
just
Do not. You do a lot of things,
ah!
but don't do Angel. Um, but no, no, no. I think that she was so upset. She was so disappointed all the time, and she wanted to give us more. And I think that you know because she was unable to do that with my dad, they constantly fought. Not to say that my mom is easy. My mom is
So
really she high
the
strung
fighting was why you felt like you was
constantly. And my dad
okay.
was strict, y'all. I grew up in a real like he was strict. My mom was a fairy, but my dad was like not that
But
guy.
that could have different
He was
effects on
sweet
people,
though.
like she said. Like it could really
Yeah, no,
mess you up.
Salima was devastated.
Yeah, it could mess
Salima
you
was
up, and it
devastated.
can affect your relationships going forward.
But me, I feel like, and this might sound bad, I believe divorce is okay. Like I believe like if it's not working for you, move
Yeah, it's
on.
not working for you.
It's not working. You know what I mean? Time is our most precious commodity. Like I'm not saying get a man, leave a man, you know what I mean? Or get a woman, leave a woman, but I'm saying self-preservation is a real thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I understand that. So I was with her when she said, nah, like sometimes you got to leave. And we've been happy since. So I get it. Let's move on to Kristen and Mitch.
I was gonna say something, but we moved on. So
No, say it.
no, no.
No, say it. What was it about?
It was about what we were just talking about, but
Don't say nothing about Angel.
no, it wasn't really. It wasn't
Oh,
even.
don't ever
It was
come for
about
her.
something that she said.
Who, Angel?
Yeah, yeah. But it was
Oh, what she said was she wouldn't have got a divorce.
yeah,
My
that was
mom
it.
did say that though. My mom did
She
say
said something to the fact that if I knew what I knew now, we
she
wouldn't
said
have
I
gotten a
probably wouldn't have got
divorce.
a divorce. Yeah, but I don't think that she had the tools at the time, or him either. Like I don't think they had the tools that they were
They
young.
got married young, yeah.
Yeah, they got married young, so I get it. But she did say that. Um, So let's move on to Kristen and Mitch. Kristen. Ooh, Kristen. Hmm. Kristen seems high strung to me.
Why you say that?
Kristen is the one who had the fiance cheat on her. Now, let me say this. Let me back up. Kristen is the one that said she had the fiance 6 months before she got married. Was it 6 months?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
right before she got married.
It was.
Weeks
She
before.
said. She.
No,
I
she
thought she
said
said it was six
weeks.
months.
No, they were sleeping with each other for 6 months. The
Oh.
mistress came up to her and, and told her that I've been sleeping with your fiance for 6 months. I have so many questions about this. One, why do y'all bitches think that's okay?
Well, that's a whole nother.
I really want to know that. Like, what could you possibly get out of hurting another woman
I
like that?
think she wanted. She wanted him.
That's number one.
She
But
wanted
you
to break
stupid
them
for
up.
that too.
Yeah, but she wanted to break them up.
My second question is,
People be thinking that if I want you and you don't want me, if I break up your current situation, you're then gonna want me. People really think that. Like it's really like
you like that?
no, I'm not. That don't even make no sense. You've always wanted me. That
Well, it was a time I didn't want you.
no, it wasn't. There was never a time you didn't want
There
me.
was a time I did not
If
want
it
you.
was, I couldn't tell. The point is that people really think that like when you say like we're not together, like we're and it's a you thing. People all I think it's also a deflection
Mm-hmm.
where they think, oh, you're not with me because you're with her. Right. And it's
Mm.
like, no, I'm not with you because I'm not with you because I don't want to be with you. And it's a population of demented motherfuckers out here who just think
Demented.
if I break them up, we'll live happily ever after. So I think that's where a lot of that come from.
So my second question is, after that, why are we meeting Kristen from behind bars? Because I'd have asked somebody to out. Okay, ain't no way on God's green earth somebody. Well, I genuinely cannot imagine what you would have to go through, or what you would go through if that happened.
I can't either.
I can't imagine that. I think that's so sad. Like, I think it's so disgusting and so sad. But she said that they went. She still went on a trip. She still went. She planned a destination wedding and still went out there with her family and her friends and had a good time. So I guess she made the best out of it. You know what I mean? But I still find her very, very
Yeah,
fascinating.
she is fascinating, but I actually commend her for even like even being open to something like this after dealing with that. Like I don't. That's a lot.
That is a hell of a lot. But she says she's not good at being single, which I can get that because I'm not
I
good at
get
being
that.
single
I
either.
get that. I get that
Yeah,
too.
like I'm better. I'm a better partner. I feel like, you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, I feel the
I'm
same
a
way.
okay single bitch, but like I'm a better partner. But I understood what she was saying when she said this, so I can see why she would do that because it's like sometimes you just like I don't want to do
But
this.
sometimes you could be so heartbroken that you can't even fathom being in that position again.
Yeah.
And that seemed like it was crazy. Like
So let me tell you what I don't like about her. Okay. And not even that I don't like about her, but to me, this is a red flag. And y'all gonna think this is so silly. But she's already producing. So when
yeah,
she said she told her mom, she sits down, she talks to her girlfriends, and then she said, first of all, her one girlfriend was hilarious. She like, is he religious? Do you know? Like, do he want kids? Like, what do we know about? What is his first name? What is his last name?
yeah,
I said, girl, that's some questions I would. That's exactly how I would respond.
that
Like, you know what I
is,
mean? Hilarious. Now she goes on to say she told her sisters and her mother, but didn't tell her father.
which is
But
weird.
she's a what made it more weird because people don't tell their dad stuff all the time. But what makes it more weird is that you would call yourself a
A
daddy's
daddy's
girl.
girl, and then say, "Well, I'm gonna tell him at the wedding when he show up." That's messed up.
What?
Why would you even do that?
Why would you do that to
Why would you
anybody?
do that to anybody, let alone your dad, who you apparently have a lot of affection for?
That don't even make no damn
That's a weird way
sense.
to show it.
Right, because I'm producing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't like that. I don't really
but I
love
see you
that.
gotta watch it when you come in California, man. You gotta watch these people trying to get on out
She
here.
producing for
These people are
sure.
trying to get on.
So Mitch is 41. Now, I don't really have much to say about Mitch. Mitch is, he loved the earth. He fully sustainable.
Man,
She gonna have a hard time with him
she gonna have a real hard time with him. I don't
because
see
I
this.
like Tupperware. So
Yeah,
then what?
and I could
He be
tell
talking about
that
plastic
she
and shit.
does too.
You
And
know what I mean? I'm just not sure. I'm just
But not
not
only that,
sure.
not only that, but he is like super earthy and
Yeah,
kind of
super.
like, not really down. That she seems like she want to be out and about and in the streets and whoop de
Yeah,
whoop,
he don't like
and that's
waste
not
or
his
anything
vibe.
like
Yeah,
that.
so even when his brother, I guess, was asking him like, so what are you gonna do if she wants to do X, Y, and Z? He's like, I'm gonna be cool. Even that was not convincing at
It
all.
was
Like,
not.
are you gonna be cool?
But
Because
let me
you
tell you
seem like
something.
you about to have a conniption right now, just at the prompted question of like, what are you gonna do if she does this? He looked very uncomfortable. So I don't know about them.
I don't know about them. He's 41. She made a very valid point when she said, she worries about men who are a little bit older. So, two things. I do believe she made a very valid point by saying that. When you're a little bit older and you haven't had any type of commitment, it is a red flag. You know what I mean? That's a red
But
flag.
my thing is, ain't this a pot calling the kettle? Like,
No, she was almost married. So she was in a committed relationship for 5.5 years.
yeah, but you weren't the same way that people can say something like that. It's the same way that people say, "Oh, well, you a woman and you almost 40. What's wrong with you?" You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't want nobody to say that shit about you. You know what I'm
But
saying?
I,
So
I
it's the
would say,
pot
I
calling the
still would
kettle to
say
me.
it's a red flag if you haven't. I understand what you're saying, but I think that if you haven't been in a committed, and it's
But to me, y'all in
unfortunate.
the same
You can't
pot.
control it.
To me, that's what I'm saying.
You
To
can't
me, they're in the
control
same
it.
pot.
So don't get me wrong. Like, part of you can't control it, but I don't think they're in the same part because
I
she's
do.
capable of commitment because
How do we know?
she was in a relationship for 5.5 years,
Yeah, but it ended.
and she was still in
So
it.
we're in the same boat right
No,
now. You
no, no,
understand what I mean?
no.
Like, his degree is different from your degree, but y'all work at the same place. Y'all ended up in the same place. So for you to judge me because of how I got here, to me, is asinine. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
That's what
I
I'm
can
saying.
go
Like,
with you
I
there.
just can't get with
I
that.
can understand that because you're saying we both were married at first
We
sight.
both are married at first
I
sight, sis,
understand.
and you're also a big age who is very single.
She not that big
Regardless of how you
age.
got here, regardless of you're not no spring. You're not 25. She's 30 something. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a big age as a woman who is very single and on married at first sight. You know what I'm saying? So to me, for you to have that perspective, it's kind of whack to me. That's just I just didn't like that.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that. I don't necessarily agree, but I can understand I fully understand what you're saying. But I just think that I understand what she's saying because I've been there with the older gentleman, and he hadn't been in a committed relationship, and I had, and how that affected the dynamic, and how that affected us, because I would be like, oh, we had an argument and whatever, and he would be like, I can never deal with this again.
It's
You know
just
what
it's just
I mean? Which
everybody
I
is
was a terrorist, but
everybody has a different journey, and you could tell that regardless of how where Mitch is today, you can tell that like Mitch seems to me like like he wants to be in a relationship. You know what I mean?
his brother
So
don't think he ready. He 41 years old.
his
His brother
brother,
said, I don't think he ready to
because
be
I
married.
think right, but because I think of his lifestyle. He's like his brother is thinking of all how we thinking like what woman you gonna marry who's on some stuff where she want to eat out of straw plates and shit like that.
Yeah,
You know what I
anybody
mean?
doing that shit
That would make me nervous as if I'm his brother too, because I'm like, bro, she not gonna be trying to be hugging trees all day. She might
at
want to go
all.
eat. You know what I'm saying?
At all. I agree.
So I would be looking at him the same way. But does he? But his brother absolutely said, "But I think he's a good guy. I think he would be a good." You know what I'm saying? He's obviously good with kids. You know what I'm saying? So like, he obviously wants this. You know what I mean? So that's to me. Everybody got a different path and how they get there, and like you said, you can't really control it. Some people meet the person, some people don't meet the person. Some people is they picker. Some people they pick her off. You know what I'm saying? But it's
Yeah,
just not one thing fits all. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree. Okay, I could go with you there. Like, we both single, so why is his red flag and yours not?
Yeah.
Okay, I can go with you there. Now, but I want to say this though. The moment she said it, it almost felt like she manifested the person that she was getting.
Yeah, because that's yeah,
And
absolutely.
that, if y'all don't learn anything, y'all have to be picky with your words. Like, everything, you have to really speak positive and speak abundantly into your life and everything over your life. Because when you talk like that, it really does bring you down. Like, you gotta
Yeah,
put on some good music, say what you need to say, really get those affirmations. That shit mean the words you say means things. It really it could change the course of your life.
Absolutely.
And she just manifested an old mother, okay, who ain't never been in a relationship, probably don't even like bitches like that. So, you know what I mean? But that's her life. But what I did like, I really liked his brother and the fact that his brother was in a committed relationship. And he said that he didn't learn about love and marriage from his parents, but more from his brother and sister in law. And I kind of thought that was beautiful. And that he was a
That's dope.
manny.
Yeah.
I thought it was very beautiful that he had helped take care of his niece and everything
Yeah.
like that. Like, I don't know. It, I'm feeling him. I'm feeling Mr. Mitch. Let's move on to Ben and Morgan. Ben, I think, is the cutest thing. I do not care. I do not care. I don't care. I think he's so cute. And Morgan, I think, is I don't think anything about Morgan. And I mean that with all due respect, Morgan. Don't come and kick me in
Morgan
the
is
head.
confusing to me because she hates sports, but she is like this the biggest tomboy in the world.
Yeah,
She
like she got big shoulders
I
and shit.
mean, and she how about it? And she doing kickboxing and
Yeah,
Thai,
Muay
then she
Thai and
playing video
everything.
games and all this other. So she's
She's
kind of confusing to
giving
me.
Ellen DeGeneres, but
Yeah, but
and
you
I mean that with all due respect. Listen, but I'm not. I don't see this. I don't see this happening.
oh, I don't see it either.
I don't see this happening.
This
And
is this is what's the other Lindy and Miguel to me. This is Lindy and
yeah,
Miguel part
I
two.
don't see this happening. And I don't. And I'm curious to see if he is even attracted to her. I think he's cute. He's successful. She's successful as well. She's a nurse, but she's just meh. Nothing about her I feel like is, and I mean this with all due respect, girl. Don't come and chip my tooth. I already got a gap, child. I don't need nobody near me in my mouth, all right? But I think that she's, and I hate to say this, and this is gonna sound so mean,
What? Say it.
forgettable.
Well, I mean, that is what it is. I mean, she's just
She's just like, is she here? Is she not here? Like, who cares?
yeah.
Like, who cares? But but that's a first impression. I'm hoping that we get to see her blossom and get a lot more of her
Yeah,
personality.
I want to see these people as husbands and wives.
Right.
Like let's get to
Let's
that
get right
because
to it.
everybody representative is great. All you know what I mean. So like,
But you know what though? She don't even give a good first impression though, because
well, none
even
of these
she
people
said
did for me.
she don't care about sports. She's super
It was so weird.
independent. She wants to do what she wants to do. The friend gonna say you're very powerful, which I know
Like
she
you
meant
doing too
like
much.
right.
You're doing too much, and
I'm
this is why you're single, sis. And a real friend would have said it to her. Like you guys slow down. Like you be doing too much.
But you know what I think we need to do away with? I think that we got to be done with the independent conversation.
Please, y'all. All y'all
We
do
got to be done with
is
it.
the bare minimum to be an adult. This
But
whole like, well, I pay my bills and I take care of myself. You should.
and we expect you
You
to
should
do so.
absolutely
You
take
know
care
what
of
I
yourself and
mean?
pay your bills. You're single, so who else, like it's
I
nobody
don't.
else's responsibility. You're 30 something. There's nobody
But
else's
that's not a
responsibility.
flex to
It's
me.
not. It's
You know what's
not.
a flex to me? I'm very dependent. If he don't pay the bills, how the fuck the lights gonna come on? That's a flex to me. Bitch,
Yeah,
you ain't
nah.
paying no bills.
Yeah, how about that?
That's a flex.
Yeah, yeah, like
You paying bills and struggling and all this shit like that is not a flex to me.
but we are so tired of the I'm too independent. I'm single
Please.
because I'm too independent. Her and Stacy or whatever, however you say her name.
We're gonna keep a running table the stupid shit y'all say.
Yeah, for
Like
real.
I'm just super independent and what?
Oh, so that's why you single because
What do that
everybody is just
mean?
so scared
Everybody's so, but the people who aren't
of you.
independent, who are they dependent on? Like
I don't
if
know.
you're an adult and you live alone, right? You're just that's independence.
Everybody's so intimidated by you and your accountant job or whatever the hell she
Well, we
does.
ain't
Like,
even
come
get there
on,
yet.
sis.
We ain't even get
I just am over it. Like, cause we've been hearing the same kind of shit for years on this show. Like, y'all, how do y'all still pick these people? That'd have been a red flag to me. I'm like, okay, nice to see you. Good day. Like, I'm not even
I don't
putting.
know.
This is what I
She had
mean.
a couple red
Like,
flags. I didn't.
I'm not putting people. The minute you say that, you sit down to me, especially as because this is a running joke with women. I'm just men are just too intimidated by me
Wait,
because I'm too.
we
But
gotta.
I'm saying going back to what we said earlier, like about picking people. The minute you say that, I've been like, have a good day. Thank you, sis. and
Think it's
I'm gonna find somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? Because get over yourself. That's
I
my
don't I
like. Get over
think
yourself.
I don't think it's that. But
She absolutely
I
needs
want to
to
get
get
back
over
to Ben and
herself.
Morgan now. I want to get back to Ben and Morgan. Morgan sat at the table, told her friend, the girl gonna tell us a story about her tooth being chipped because the girl need her in the mouth.
Yeah,
Me and that bitch would never be able to break bread ever again in life.
that's
Okay, it would have
what
to
it
be the
is.
last motherfucking supper, and Jesus Christ Himself would have to be sitting right next to me for me to be at a table with a bitch who chipped my motherfucking tooth, and I ain't get it fixed.
Nah, she definitely did not get that fixed.
I mean,
But that's
she
what they do.
but that's what who do.
Them, they kickbox on the weekends or whatever. But don't get it twisted because she doesn't like sports.
I don't want to do sports stuff with you. Why do y'all want partnership? Why do y'all want spouses if y'all don't want to share your life?
Because y'all really want to be
If y'all
single.
don't want to share experiences, do you think I want to be you know what, let me say this, I'm not really big into sports, right? But Joe makes it fun for me, so he'll be like, let's go to a bar, because it ain't no fucking secret to nobody that I love a drink. So it's like, or
Thanks.
let's go to get something to eat. Like, he makes it an experience, so then I can be into it. You know what I
But
mean?
especially if you're gonna do stuff as you know, like you come into the relationship as this enthusiast, regardless of what it is. I like game nights, I like candles, I like pottery or whatever. If that's what you're going to do anyway, then why not we figure out how to way so that we can be a part of it and do it together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like one of the craziest things I've heard was somebody saying, oh, my wife like to do something, why can't she do it by herself? Like, because that's your wife. Like,
bro.
y'all are married, like,
Do
you know
you
what I
remember
mean?
we
I
was like,
remember, yeah,
we
like,
was sitting there like, but that don't make, but
yeah, but it's
oh,
like,
but they business out there.
but the point is, it's just
But
like a lot of people think like that. Going back to putting the mic in people's faces, a lot of people think like that. Like, well, I don't do that, so they could do
yeah,
that themselves. Like, well, you gonna be single with this mindset forever. You know what I mean?
but he seemed too broy for her. Like, he's a bro,
But so is she. That's why this is weird.
but
You're a
that's my
bro.
point, and
You're
she's
a
a
bro.
bro.
Like, like the fuck you mean? I'm not going to
Mm.
sit down and watch a game with him, but I'm gonna go kick my friend in the face. Like, what? You're a
Why would
weirdo.
you ever want to kick anybody? You know what? I can't. Don't even get me started. Do not get me started. But she was fascinating. That was to say the least. Ben, on the other hand, I really like Ben. I don't care. I love him. I love him. He only been on the screen. I don't know what it is about him that I like so much. But one, I love. The only thing I don't like people who um penny pinch. Like, I always tell people, but this is what I be
Well,
trying to tell y'all.
call him out because if Ben was black, we would be calling him Brokey McBrokey.
But he
But
not, bro. He said
it don't
he
matter.
just
He sat up
invests
there
his
and said,
money.
"Well, she can't order a supersize on the
Yeah,
menu
he
and da da da
said
da
she
da."
can't get
He
an
was,
extra scoop of ice
yeah,
cream.
he's saying all that. So let's keep it.
Well,
Let's keep
he's
the same energy.
frugal because he wants to
Just because his
retire at
skin is a little
40.
lighter,
No,
we're
I'm
gonna keep the
not
same
keeping the
energy.
same. I'm not doing that
I
because
think if Ben looked like me, it would be hashtag Brokey McBrokey, saying all of that, like all of that. Like, well, she can't. His friends was playing with him, like, bro, you can't do that. Like, you can't. You gotta take her out. Like, oh, well, she can't. We could eat in. Like, did it whoop de whoop? Like, that shit ain't
all
funny.
right, you right.
That shit ain't
I don't
funny,
care.
bro.
All right,
Like,
that part of it is right, but
even
I
his
don't care,
friends was
Ben.
looking
I
at him
like you.
like
You got to feed into me.
his friends was looking at him like, bro, that's weird. Like,
I like him. I don't know what it is. I just feel like, but I also feel like he hasn't met the right person, because the right person will make you be like, all right, let me open up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I could take her out to a nice dinner. I could do these things. I can afford those things. He can afford those things. I think sometimes when you have trauma about finances, you do extreme shit like that. So if you grew up in a,
you are who you are. Like, I know rich people who got a broke mentality and don't
but
give they
I don't
woman
think he
nothing.
has a broke mentality.
We don't know. I don't claim to know because we just met him for like a couple of hours. But I'm saying like it's you kind of are who you are. You said this the other day. Like it don't matter how rich he is. Do he give you anything?
Well,
Because
so
he could have
I
the
tell
wealth
people
of
that all
he
the
could have the
time.
wealth of Jeff Bezos. And if he won't give you the crust off his sandwich,
Yeah.
then what does it matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it
you don't
doesn't.
want somebody rich. You want somebody
Yeah,
generous.
period. So it's not
Yeah,
about his job and if he got it, because
that's what y'all don't
he
get.
been had it for a bunch of relationships, and all his friends is like, yeah, but he don't take care of his girl, he don't take her out, woody woody wood.
And
So
that's the truth. They did say that too.
they sure
They
did.
did say that too. And she said it was a deal breaker. Um,
Another setup.
Which to me, I don't know if I think she answered too fast because I don't think she really heard the question. Is it a deal breaker if he doesn't want to
She
spend
heard the
money on?
question. This is the same thing as the other girl saying, "Well, it's a deal breaker if he got bad credit." Like this is what people be thinking, bro, and they single minds and they single apartments. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really what they be thinking. Oh, he don't want to take me out or whatever. It's a deal breaker.
You know what's fascinating though, and I think this, and I could be wrong. But I've found that more than me, even men have been very um open to change, even more than me, I think. You know what I mean? Like if I say I need something from the people I've dated or whatever the case may be, and I wasn't getting it, I didn't ever get much pushback from them trying to make those minor changes or whatever the case may be. Like I never had anybody. I really don't do broke. I don't do stingy. I don't do nothing, and never have. You know what I mean? So I never even had people like that in my life. Always dated generous people, but I do think that, if it was something that I wasn't getting, even, you know what I mean, I felt like people, mend, and I mean, mold, and they move a little and bend a little for you. And so it's always fascinating to me when I hear like why do you have to be so staunch in how you feel? Like you're in a relationship, you're going to be contorting yourself in ways unknown in order to make this other person happy, and that's just life.
In order to be that person, you have to be open and be committed to the process and the actual process of melding your life to another person's.
Yeah.
And if you are not committed to that, then your mindset is very much so like this is what I do, and I'm going to do this regardless of who I'm with because I'm not changing for anybody. How many times have we heard somebody say that on the show? I'm not
Chill.
changing for anybody. Well,
And
then
she
you're gonna
about
be
to be one of
single.
those people, Morgan. She
Yeah.
about to be one of those people. But he is a mama's boy. Do y'all? And I think that is a red flag. Let's call it out. Why do I think that's a red flag?
I mean, because it can be absolutely.
Do you think that's a red flag?
I think it could be. I think it can absolutely, especially when you have to prioritize. It can become a red flag when it's like some women in their marriage or relationship pre-marriage feel like they're fighting for real estate in their relationship with their husband against their husband or their spouse's mother.
Mm,
So that's when it could be a red flag when they don't know boundaries.
yeah.
Because I love my mama so much, I gotta go run over and take care of her even though my wife is sick, or I gotta
Yeah.
go do this even though my wife asked me to do this. Like there's a hierarchy when you get married. There's a hierarchy, and the hierarchy changes from whatever else was going on into your life to your wife and then everybody else, your husband, and then literally everybody else.
Do you feel
And
like you operate like that?
absolutely.
No, I'm just asking. I wasn't coming at you.
Oh yeah, I do.
I feel like you operate like that. I was just asking if you
Yeah.
consciously do that.
I think that that's when it can be a red flag when people enter into committed relationships with individuals, or in this case, like somebody who's a quote unquote mama's boy, enter into this relationship, and now his wife feels like she has to compete for space with somebody's mom.
Right. Because that's what it is, competing for real
Yeah,
estate.
yeah.
It really is. But that's the only thing. I mean, he gives a little bro, if we being honest, and I don't really love that aesthetic, but like a little, I don't know. I don't really love it. However, I am a fan of his. I don't know what it is. I'm not a fan of hers. I don't think he's going to be attracted to her. And not because she's not a pretty woman, because she is, but because I, oh, this is going to sound
It's gonna
so,
be a personality thing. She cute enough for him. It's just gonna be a personality
yeah.
thing. Like they're different. I
Yeah.
just don't see it.
I don't
I
see
don't
it.
see
I
it.
don't see it.
But y'all keep telling us that y'all did it with science. How many times they gonna mention that this season?
How about
We,
that?
we did a
Joe,
scientific
that was funny.
matchmaking process. Ever is
Joe, that was funny.
scientific? Like, okay, y'all.
So, okay, now Stasia and what's her husband name?
Nate
Nate. I'm not a fan of Nate.
or Stasia
And I hope that I'm not a fan of Stasia.
at
You know
all.
what though?
I don't see it. Like they this is another one where it's like y'all really gonna have to watch this play out because I do
I'm
not
at to
see
watch
this.
it play out.
I don't see it.
Stasia is very
In love with herself. She need to get over
well put
herself.
together. Don't say that. I don't like that.
To say what?
Why she gotta get over herself?
She do
She
because
that
because
bitch.
because being married is humbling. That's why.
Everybody that gets married has to get over
I think
themselves.
they're gonna be fine though.
Everybody that gets married has to get over themselves. You can't. You will never be in a success. I've never met anybody in a long lasting sexual relationship with an attitude like Stassi ever. You know what I'm saying? Or saying stuff like,
I
well,
haven't either. I haven't
I'm
either.
just too, I'm just too independent. I'm too strong. I'm too this. I'm too that. Like, get over yourself.
So do y'all
Get
think?
over
But
yourself.
no, what's
Marriage. It's just, if marriage was a movie, it would say marriage underline get over yourself.
that's a
Like,
fact.
that's
That's
literally
a
what it
fact.
is. Marriage is a lot of swallowing pride.
So Starcy had said two things that to me were red flags. I don't want a man. I want a man. I don't need a man. Why do y'all say that?
Cause she
This
need to get over
why
her.
do y'all say that? I think that
What does
y'all,
that even
what
mean?
do that even mean? Y'all know I'm a fairy. That's no, secret to anybody. But the reality is that we live in an ecosystem. If you know what an ecosystem is, it literally is a set of organisms that have these either symbiotic, parasitic, mutual relationships or whatever that they need in order to survive. The reality is we
And that's
do need
science, Lifetime.
it's just science. You
That's
know what I
real
mean?
science.
Like literally, we need bees to pollinate flower.
We
You know
need,
what I mean?
yeah, we
We
need each
need
other.
all. We need each other.
Otherwise,
So
the human race will wither away and die.
how? Come on.
So we do need each
Where?
other.
Why do y'all say this stupid ass shit out your mouth?
I don't know.
And I get
It's
it.
a talking point.
Part of me gets it. Part of me gets it, y'all. Part of me get it. Men ain't shit. You know what I mean? You can't ever find a good man, so you don't want to say nothing like that. But the reality is that I
It's dumb.
need like it's nothing wrong with saying that. First of all, you don't have to say it either way. The problem is that I find that sometimes, and not to say that men don't say stupid shit out their mouth. I'm just speaking from the perspective of being a woman because I am a woman. I listen to men say stupid shit all the time. But if we're talking about women, I think that's such a stupid thing to say because if you get the right person, you'll feel like you need that person. If something happens to my husband, God forbid, you might as well put me in the casket with him. I'm
Straight up.
done.
That's how I
I
feel.
cannot survive. I would not be able to do it. I was watching something, and somebody gonna say, "Well, if he leave, you would just move on and do something else." And it's like, y'all are so used to losing. The problem is you're
That's what
so
it
used to
is.
losing that when you winning, you don't know how good it feels, what it looks like, how to reap the rewards of that. So you say things to deprecate where you are, depreciate where you are, to to
To
to
make the losing easier.
to make the losing easier. Y'all so used to being losers.
Yeah.
See the difference between us and y'all is that I'm a winner. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't have no problem with saying I need mine. I have
A
no
thousand percent.
problem.
A
I have
thousand
no
percent.
problem saying that. I'm a winner. And I'm used to winning. So my mindset when it comes to companionship is that it is so abundantly important to have a companion, a partner in life. When you have a partner, you can fire on all cylinders. She's such a fucking accountant. You don't understand how important partnership is.
How about that?
You don't understand that they will give you twice as much of a you know what I mean? Like tax cut.
But she just gotta say these things. I really believe they are just talking points, like just things that people say that sound good in certain
Stupid.
rooms, and it
Stupid as
makes
hell.
them feel better about themselves and their situation.
It's got to y'all have to stop saying stupid ass shit like this out your
Please.
mouth. You know what I mean? And as opposed to saying that, and the reason why I'm saying stop saying stupid ass shit like that out your mouth, because y'all we time is so precious and y'all be using your words to say stupid ass shit. And my thing is start saying stuff that's really gonna get you somewhere. Like
Yeah,
I do want to need my spouse. I want to be so madly and deeply in love that it flows through me.
a thousand
It gives
percent.
me the energy that I need
Yeah,
to get through my day. That's how y'all need to be talking, as opposed to being like, I don't need a man.
yeah. Like
None
it's
of us need
instead of
any by that. Like,
instead of
it's the stupidest
manifesting
ass shit.
what you want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Like
You rather
it's no
talk from the
way.
space of being a loser.
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's really what it is. Like y'all are so terrified by failure that you just have
I've
to.
never said that in my life.
I Me neither.
I've never said that in my life. And not only that, you don't ever hear a man say, I want a woman, I don't need one.
Yeah,
I've never heard that come out of a man's
me
mouth
neither.
because men do believe they need women.
Absolutely.
They believe that. They and it won't go without them. They'll
Straight
have
up.
2, 5, 50, 11 bitches.
Straight up.
You know what I mean? Because that's how much they feel like they need it. It's just very, and I get it. We've been fighting for space, and we've been fighting to get to a certain place, and I get it. I get it. But I just want us to stop doing that. I want us to stop saying, "Oh, men are intimidated by me."
Oh, girl,
No,
get over yourself. We
I
do
don't even
not
think.
care.
I think that
Hashtag, we got to put in the Mike Tomlin meme right here.
We do not care.
We do not care. I'm gonna tell you right now, no man that you ever met, Stacia, Stacy, or whatever, no man that you ever met is not with you today because he was so intimidated by your 9 to 5 financial advisory job. I'm telling you for a fact right now. Sorry.
And the only reason why I'm saying that, I believe that as well, Joe, is because men will literally pick women up. They will be driving a Bentley and pick a bitch up at the bus stop.
Straight up.
So he wasn't intimidated by it. He intimidated because you got it going on. Like, girl, he I don't think he's intimidated. I think that's the wrong language. I think that you put yourself in a space where, because women have been fighting for space for so long, what we have defines us so deeply. When in reality, now the fact that you own a house, the fact that you own investment properties is not just that assets, it's a character trait.
Yeah.
You know what I
But it's
mean?
also a deflection. Like your relationship didn't end because he was intimidated. What? Why did it? Let's talk about really why it ended. Let's really talk. What did you do? You know what I'm saying? What was your participation in the situation? Like, what was the dynamic that you were creating in your relationship
Come
that
on.
made your man feel like y'all was sword fighting at one point to made you come to the conclusion that he must have just been too intimidated by me? Like, let's talk about some real shit because this is a lot of blanket statements being thrown
But
out
then
to
turn
make
around and
people
say
feel
you wanted to
comfortable.
date thugs.
Yeah, how about that?
You like them edgy. So is he intimidated or not? I'm just like confused. Like
Yeah,
I don't understand. But then you would turn around and cry because you're about to get married. Like I don't like
yeah,
it is okay. It is okay. It is okay for us to be vulnerable. I know it's scary and we don't like to do these things and be open and everything like that. But it's okay to be vulnerable.
yeah, and
It's
just
okay.
it's okay
We
to
giving you space, Stacia. We giving you space, baby.
yeah, and it's okay to just be real with yourself and stop saying dumb shit out your mouth.
But you know what though? I tell people this all the time. A lot of y'all be lying about yourselves and it be stressing me fuck out.
Yeah, but it's
Because
the
it's stressful.
representative, like
It's stressful. Like, oh, and I get it. You are buttoned up. You're beautiful. You're smart. You're successful. You're all those things, right? But past that, what are you?
right.
Who are you? Are you kind? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of person are you? We don't give a that you.
Yeah,
I'm
like what
proud of you,
makes you
sis.
like
Don't get me
what
wrong.
makes you ready to be a wife in your eyes? Because it can't be that it can't be that you
It
know
can't be the investment
it
property.
can't be
You know what I
like
mean?
well that's what it sounds like to you. Like if you let her tell it, like I'm ready to be a wife because I
And I
I
get
was the
it.
top of my firm last year.
Because that goes back to financial trauma.
Like
Sometimes you're so traumatized, you go through so much financial trauma as a child. Me myself, Joe, know if I feel like the money is funny, everything shuts down.
right.
You can put a fucking sheet over my head, I'm sleeping for weeks. So I get her feeling where it's like I get her feeling where she
You're
has
worried
to
about the wrong
insulate
shit.
herself. But I'm saying in this spectrum of love, you are worried about the
You
wrong
worried about the
shit.
wrong shit.
Do you? How do you feel about the prenup or the
Again,
post nut?
you worried about the wrong shit. You are not Jeff Bezos, sis. Like you about to marry a stranger, and you over here talking about you over here talking about a prenup. Like you're worried about the wrong. Get over yourself. My advice to her is get over yourself and focus on this stuff. Because I not one out of all her camera time, not one time did I hear them get in a real deep
Yeah.
conversation about what it is to be
Like I want
a
to be in
married
love
spouse,
and I want
the
yeah.
intangibles, the things that the ups and downs that you got to deal with. Isn't her mom married?
I don't even know,
I don't know,
Joe.
but they didn't have conversations like it was. There was none of that, like real conversations about, you know what I'm saying? Like some marriages, it's not surface. You know what I'm saying? So this whole like, well, let's talk about prenups and let's talk about, what I'm doing in my financial firm. Like, get over yourself. This is why you're here now. And I'm wondering, I'm waiting for the day that she sits down with Pastor Kyle or somebody like that, and they finally really like let her in on this part of it, because a lot of what she talking about don't mean nothing.
It don't mean
It
even when
means
she said
nothing.
like, what did they say about compromise, the responsibility, like letting him lead? We were talking about
Yeah,
being
she joking
submissive.
about that. That was the one. That's what I mean by have real conversation, right? Real conversation with real nuance. You know what I'm saying? From some, it's saying like some people over there in the corner that's in relationships,
Or
right?
got sense.
Right, or got sense, right? Even then, she like making little jokes about it, laughing. That wasn't funny. You should have been eating up what they's telling you,
Yeah.
but you don't. It's very clear to me that you don't get it.
Yeah, because they were like, being submissive doesn't mean that you don't have like a leading
And you don't
role.
get it because you heard submissive and you thought negative, which means that you don't get it, which is cool. You single, you sign up for this show because you get enough that you need help. So
And I
I'm
get
here
it.
for
Maybe
that,
that I
and
think that,
I'm just waiting for the experts to come in and help her in this area because she's drowning in it.
but I think the sister was spot on when she said, being submissive is not like you're taking a lesser role, is that you trust him to make certain decisions. And I do think trust is earned and everything like that. So maybe that takes time. But at the same time, I think that that's the mindset you got to have. Like, I'm
Yeah, it
not
was just clear
submissive
that she didn't
because,
understand the concept.
right. Because you could be submissive to a motherfucker who, oh, I don't mean to curse like that. Sorry, y'all. But you could be submissive to somebody who isn't. I could trust somebody who may not make as much money as me, but they make good decisions, and they make, you know what I mean, and they make good choices on behalf of us. So to me, it's like that. I could submit to that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't gotta give a month all my money or nothing like that to say I'm submissive. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or do everything that they like, be, cleaning the floors and this and that to be submissive. I think it's more that you just trust somebody to lead.
But you have to understand the concept because if you really understood the concept, you will understand that it takes that to happen on both parts of the relationship. As a man and a husband, I have to be submissive to my wife.
Yeah.
I don't run the streets and just make decisions solely by myself like I used to when I was a single man. That's
Mhm.
called submission. Duh. That's literally
Duh.
what it is. I'm said for me to acquiesce to certain things that I know my wife might want, or to make sure that I bring my wife in on certain decisions and things like that. That's called submissive. Like, you know what I'm saying? And neither we you submit to each other. You know what I mean? A lot of times that's even in the vows that the official says. You know what I'm saying? So there's a reason why that's in there because you do have to submit to each other. You know what I'm saying? So the idea that like that word was cringy for you is kind of adolescence to me. And
Yeah.
that's a red flag.
Yeah. So she's getting married to, what's his name again? Nate.
Nate,
She's getting married to Nate. I do not like Nate. I don't know what it is about him that does not feel right.
I do.
Um, he had so many red flags.
I know exactly what that
Um,
feel right.
so I, so when we said that Alexis had a lot of guy friends, that it was a red flag to me. I think it's a red flag that he has a lot of female friends. Very much a red flag. They asked him, well, what if you get with somebody and they're jealous? And he was like, well, they would just have to get over that and boop de boop de boop. And I just am like, I don't. This is a red flag.
That's a single mindset too.
It's
Like,
such a single, and I'm sure he'll come around. You fall in love with people and your mindset changes. But at first glance, I'm just unimpressed. Ooh, that sounds bad. I'm underwhelmed.
I'm very underwhelmed
I'm
with Nate, and I
underwhelmed.
and the red flags is all over the place with him.
At first glance, I'm underwhelmed, and I feel like the way he was talking to the stripper. I don't know why I didn't want to call her
Oh,
stripper.
the strippers situation was
Telling her to get on her knees.
it was Mitch's face for me when it was happening.
It was disgusting. It was
I think Nate
disgusting.
was pouring it on.
I am a strip club enthusiast. Do y'all hear me? Love. Do I not love strip clubs?
Yeah.
Love them. Joe won't even be asking to go. I'd be like, oh, let's go to strip club. Love them. I love women. I love it. I love it. I love it. I would never. I would never. Me and Joe would have a huge argument if I ever seen him talking to a woman like that. It was just so, you don't have to objectify them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these women are professionals. They're doing their
We
thing.
but we don't have to keep talking about this. We all know why Nate did it. So
Oh, he trying to prove something.
yeah.
And I just didn't like it.
We all
I
know why
didn't like
Nate
it.
did
I
it.
did not like. I've been to a strip club a
We all
million
know that if
billion
the cameras
gazillion
wasn't
times.
there, Nate would have never said that or been
Why
there.
would you ever tell a woman to get on?
We know. We know
This
her.
girl probably went home and cried, bro.
She ain't do that. She was on TV. She got
That
paid.
bitch cried, bro.
No,
She
she didn't
cried.
cry.
I would have cried. I almost cried.
No, you ain't almost. Let's go.
I almost
No, you
cried.
did not almost
All
cry.
right. Well, my husband said, let's go. Only one of them have gotten married so far, Alexis and Justin. Right now, Alexis has the best dress. We saw Stasia's
Well,
dress.
she
I thought
she
Stasia.
going had the best dress. We seen mostly all the dresses, and she going had the best dress. And it looked like Miguel might actually have the best tux.
Oh, you like his tux? The color?
It looks like out of the rest of them, he might actually.
Miguel is fascinating.
He is, but
But I like him.
it's a lot of them that's fascinating. It's
I like Miguel though. Miguel on the spectrum, and I love him like that.
too.
And I love him like that. But let us know what y'all think about this. This has been so fascinating. Tell us some other lines that single people be saying just to say shit.
For real.
That you just be listening to them like, what are you even talking about?
We can write a book on them.
Like, I don't get it. What are you even saying? I need to know more. So if you have not already, do us a favor, subscribe to this channel, okay? Let us know how y'all felt about Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 1. How do y'all feel about these couples? And we'll see you. Bye.